What is the real cost of smoking over a working lifetime? It could be as much as £2 million. Let me explain. The real cost of smoking could be as much as £2 million over your working life. Let me explain. My name is Charles Kelly, Money Tips Podcast. Now, I saw a statistic the other day from the Stop Smoking campaign people, and they said that the average person is spending around uh, just over £400 per month or £5,000 a year, typical 20 a day smoker during their lifetime. So that is 5,000 a year, 10 years, that's £50,000. So over a period of say 40 years, your average sort of working life, you could easily be spending £200,000, right? 40 years, £5,000 a year. But that's not where the story stops. Let me just share something with you. I think you might not believe this actual figure. Typical cigarette prices, value brands between 12 and £13 per packet, and most of this, of course, is tax. Premium brands 14.50 to £15.50. I see people in the supermarkets, they have them on, these locked cabinets now, spending 30, £40 on stocking up on these cigarettes, which, let's face it, I think the jury's out. We know they do a lot of health damage. They cause a lot of cancer, chest problems. I've known several people who've had, even the ones who lived longer and said, oh, I've smoked all my life. They've ended up with the last 5 or 10 years of life hardly able to breathe. And then there's the people who get cancer much earlier. So we know, I think we're pretty much certain that cigarette companies are killing people. I wouldn't particularly personally invest in any cigarette companies like British American Tobacco, even though they're quite a good investment. And particularly as they're pushing now these sort of vaping things on kids to get them hooked on their product. I really believe they're evil people. So you look here, 5 cigarettes a day, 20 cigarettes a day. What does it cost? 5,000 a year. So those are the figures. 20 cigarettes a day, 5,292. So I've rounded it down to £5,000 and said, what will this cost over a lifetime? So that's 200,000, but that doesn't stop there, does it? 200,000 is the base cost now, but next year we know it's going to be a bit more. It might be an extra 5%. The government, pile on a whole load of tax. They're always putting up the taxes. They say to discourage people from smoking, but the real reason is they just need the tax. So that's what these things will cost this year, but next year we know that the prices are going to go up. So if you increase that amount, it's going to be a lot more than £200,000. But this is where it gets interesting. What if you were able to stop smoking now, and instead of spending that money, that £5,000 a year, what if you were able to invest that money into an index fund for your working life? Now, I realize some of you may not be 20 in your 20s, but let's bear with me. We'll work this out over a sort of 20-year-old or an 18, 19, 23-year-old and base it over 40 years. If you saved £5,000 per year into an index fund, a Vanguard, S&P 500 or whatever index fund you got in your own country, and it grew at 8% per annum. Now, these funds have over the last few years have grown at more like 12%, but let's take a conservative 8% growth per annum over a 40-year period. The fund would be worth, believe it or not, £1.3 million. Now, that's investing that 5,000 at the start of the year. It works out slightly different if you're paying it monthly, like 400 a month, but it's there or thereabouts, 1.3 million. However, if you increased your contribution, which is normal, right? If you were paying into a work-based pension scheme and it's a percentage of your salary, it will go up each year. So let's say you save the 5,000, but you increase the contributions by 3% per annum. So it's 400 a month this year, and you add 3% to that, and then the next year you add 3% compound to that. The index fund would then be £1.9 million, almost £2 million, just by small increments each year. It's a staggering amount. Now, this could apply to you if you don't smoke. This shows that anybody who, you don't need to be a stock market expert. You just put your money diligently into that that index fund. In other words, you're paying yourself before you pay everybody else, and it just continues to grow. And it can be in a tax-free ISA, but it could also be in a pension scheme, a work-based pension scheme, a personal pension if you're self-employed, or any type of pension, that as long as it qualifies for tax relief. Because that £5,000 you've spent on your cigarettes, or alcohol, whatever, whatever it is, um, that £5,000, you've already paid tax on that. So that's after tax income. So, probably you paid £1,000 tax on that already. So it's actually on your gross income. It's an even higher percentage of your gross income. Do you see what I mean? So if you earn 24,000 a year, it's roughly 25% of your gross income, literally going up in smoke. Now, with a pension scheme, you're effectively getting that tax back on the contributions. So if you were to roll that money into a pension scheme instead of a tax-free ISA, you said, I'm putting that into a pension scheme, you're effectively getting your tax back at 20%. So you're getting an additional 25% add-in to your contribution. So that boosts it up immediately by 25% and still grows tax-free. Obviously, at the end, you've got to pay tax on getting the money out, but let's just forget about that for the moment. So if you save the same amount, your 5,000 a year, into a UK personal pension scheme, and it grew at 8%, blah, 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 the fund then would work out to £2.4 million over 40 years. And I don't think it's too hard for people to save that amount of money. Clearly, if they're able to smoke that amount of money, and that doesn't include maybe drinking and other habits, surely everybody could put that aside, assuming you're working, of course. So there you go. I mean, I think that's staggering. It shows that anybody who diligently saves and puts that money aside and forgets about it and doesn't, cash it in when the market's down. It doesn't matter if the market's going up or down due to pound cost averaging. You're just riding the waves, and it actually benefits you if the market it goes up in a jagged way. But if you're putting that money aside into an average index fund, you don't need to be a stock market expert. You don't need to pick stocks. The fund is doing that for you in a low cost fund. Anybody can become a millionaire over time. Now, if you haven't got 40 years left to do, just start when you can. But first of all, I'd say, quit the smoking. If you're drinking a lot of alcohol, that's another health habit you could look at. Gambling is another habit you could look at. People gamble a lot more than that, and just start saving that and investing that into an index fund through an ISA, a tax-free ISA, or better still, a pension scheme if you haven't got a pension scheme already. Now, bear in mind, you may say, well, I've got a work-based pension scheme. I'm putting in 3% of my salary into that. That is not enough. Even 4 or 5% is not enough to give you a comfortable retirement. If you're in the public sector, like you're a nurse, policeman, or you're a local authority or government worker, you are getting a gold-plated final salary scheme. I've been through this many times on previous podcasts. This is where you're guaranteed a percentage of your final salary, and that pension, when you get that pension, it's going to be index linked, blah, blah, blah. So it's a gold-plated scheme that basically more or less only people in the public sector get this kind of pension. Why? Because it's so expensive to fund. So depending on your age, it could cost as much as 20% of your salary to fund that scheme on your behalf. So if someone's earning 50,000, it's really effectively another £10,000 going into their pension scheme. Look at the MPs. Look at how much they're earning. If they're earning close to £100,000, they've got something like £120,000 going into their pension scheme. They get a very good pension scheme. Thank you very much. They look after themselves basically. So if you think about that, 15 to 20% on average going into a final salary scheme, of course funded by the taxpayer. That's the sort of figure you've got to aim for. So putting in, 3-4%, and the employers putting in that much, that's not going to cut it. So there's a big pensions time bomb going on where most people will not have enough money to retire on. So I think you've got to step up these contributions, step up your savings, and then you can afford not only to retire comfortably, but you can probably afford to retire young and wealthy. I've seen it done many times with my own clients over the years when I was a financial advisor. I've seen people in modest jobs on modest salaries becoming a lot more wealthy than people earning big money but spending big money as well. So live below your means, within your means, as they would say. Save diligently into an index fund or that type of fund that is going to grow over time. And you're going to have the discipline to keep doing it. So if it comes out of your account, you forget about it, you cannot then spend that money and say, well, I'll save if I've got enough money at the end of the year. That doesn't work. And then control your spending, and then you can become wealthy over time. And that's not me giving you investment advice. It's just plain facts and figures. Look it up. Go and see your financial advisor if you're not sure about it, or look it up online. There's plenty of schemes online, ways you can set up pension schemes and ISAs online. You don't always need a financial advisor, but if you want a financial advisor, by all means, get a financial advisor, an independent financial advisor to give you that advice, because I'm not your financial advisor. I'm giving you, for educational purposes, methods where you can become wealthy over time, not a get rich quick scheme. So thanks very much for listening, and I will see you on the next episode. Give up that smoking, save your money, keep disciplined, live within your means. Thank you.